trying to stay warm in the extreme cold.
Any exposed skin does have the possibility of experiencing early stages of frostbite quite quickly.
Dangers for Calgary's unhoused and pressure on shelters trying to keep them safe. Plus, flu cases are up dramatically in Alberta.
And that's certainly causing problems in our emergency departments, both from adults and pediatrics point of view.
Doctors say the system is overburdened and illness hasn't hit its peak. And getting inside an enormous immersive display.
As you're combining mural painting with the optical illusion, which is the 3D artwork.
International artists descend on Calgary to transport you through time and space.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Calgary is in the middle of a frosty cold snap. 2 people trying to stay warm were safe from a fire, and organizations are mobilizing now to help the homeless. Tim Brooke has more on the impact of this temperature plunge.
A dangerous incident prevented from getting worse. Firefighters cut a chain-link fence to reach a homeless camp that was on fire. 2 people sleeping in a tent were burned and taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators believe a heater was to blame and also found a generator, propane tanks, and gas cans. They returned later for a flare-up. Earlier Friday morning, another dangerous incident. Multiple heaters in the back of a cargo van used to keep contents from freezing may have caused a fire. No one was hurt. EMS is reminding everyone to use common sense.
We recommend, again, dressing in layers should you be outside for whatever reason. You become too warm. It's easier to take that layer off and reapply at a different time.
The city's extreme weather response is now active for the first time this season. 20 organizations are running day spaces, mobile warming stations, and shuttles. The drop-in center has seen a steady increase in demand. And the recently expanded Lethbridge Soup Kitchen is now feeding up to 600 people every day.
We have seen an increase in the number of people coming for meals. On the flip side, we've seen quite a few people who don't want to leave the building, which I don't blame them at all.
Furnace companies can see call volume triple during cold snaps like this.
The phones are ringing off the hook, as you can well imagine. Our guys are working well into the evening to try and get everyone's furnaces up and running.
Calgary roads crews are keeping major routes clear.
We are expecting between 2 and 5 centimeters of snow to fall across the city by tomorrow morning, but our crews are ready. We do have contractors on standby to support if necessary.
They'll move into communities once the snow tapers off. For now, Calgarians seem to be taking all of this chill in stride.
Let's hope everyone's able to stay warm this holiday season.
I work outside and at 11 and a half hours a day usually. We got out a little early today.
Just got back from vacation last week. It was really nice there, and I am really looking forward to the next Chinook, as is this little guy.
Well, Tim is live at Canada Olympic Park tonight. And Tim, despite the cold, the slopes are open.
Yes, Windsport, Tara, decides whether to open based on a number of different factors, as you can imagine. Among them, temperature, wind chill, and, of course, the immediate forecast. Today was considered one of those borderline days, but as you can tell behind me, they decided to go for it, and a lot of people have showed up. We've been here the last couple hours, seen a number of people going for night skis. Unfortunately, school groups are how Windsport conducts a lot of business throughout the week, and those school groups have a limit of -25 with the wind chill. So a number of those programs did cancel. But again, a lot of people did show up here today, and a lot of people are going to continue to show up tonight. The lights here will be on until 9 o'clock. And the message from Windsport, Tara, of course, is if you're coming, utilize some of the warming huts here on the hill, and also make sure to wear a lot of layers.
Always brave people everywhere. Okay, Tim, thank you. Well, Calgarians are waiting for the CPKC holiday train to pull in tonight, but it is pretty cold out there. So so they're being kept in buses to stay out of the wind chill. The train is expected to pull into the Anderson station in southwest Calgary in about 45 minutes. And in this cold, an hour is a bit too long to be standing outside. Legendary Canadian band Bare Naked Ladies is on board. We'll check in on the holiday train when it pulls in. Danielle joins us now. You need layers, you need boots, maybe even hand warmers. You're going to need it all tonight.
All of it tonight, and just so we don't get ahead of ourselves, all of it tomorrow morning as well. We are in for a big warm-up this weekend, but it's going to take a bit of time for all that cold air to get pushed out of the way. All right, minus 18 is the ambient temperature, the base temperature, but with the wind chill in the city, it feels closer to minus 28. So definitely a bite in the air. You get frostbite in just over 20 minutes to exposed skin. So the layers that Tim was talking about and Tara was talking about, definitely necessary, and quicker dog walks if you have to do the dog walk thing. All right, as you can see, for this evening, overnight, and for tomorrow morning, the wind chills will be in the minus 20s. So still cold up until about 10, 11 in the morning, and then we get a switch. By the afternoon, a high of minus 2 with a wind chill of minus 6, which will feel downright balmy. Another anywhere from 2 to 6 centimeters coming up, though, before all the snowfall is said and done. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. A truck driver was killed and another remains in hospital after 2 semis crashed head-on near Revelstoke, BC this morning. It happened on the Trans-Canada Highway just east of Revelstoke around 9:30. One driver was declared dead at the scene and the other was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The highway still remains closed in both directions tonight. Police are reminding drivers to slow down and drive to the conditions, warning they can change quickly in the mountains. Several Junior A hockey players were hurt in a bus crash about 2 hours north of Edmonton today. The team's bus crashed on a snowy and icy highway just south of Athabasca this morning. Mounties say the driver lost control on Highway 2 and hit the ditch. The bus came to a stop after crashing into trees. At least 2 teens were taken to hospital in Edmonton with non-life-threatening injuries. Other minor injuries were treated at the scene. The players are between 15 and 19 years old.
The roads were iced over and there was also blowing snow, which caused a lot of that ice to be covered. So anything that looked like just normal snowpack, the snow would clear up, and next thing you knew, you were on a patch of ice. And that is what we believe happened with the bus. We don't believe that speed or alcohol were a factor in this. It's really just so far due to inclement weather.
There were 16 passengers on the bus. The team, the Athabasca Rivermen, were supposed to play in Crow's Nest Pass. That's a nearly 700-kilometer round trip in southern Alberta this weekend. In Calgary, the driver of this transit bus was hurt when it burst into flames this morning. It happened on Nose Hill Drive as the driver was heading back to the station at the end of his route. There were no passengers on board. The driver's injuries are non-life-threatening. Cases of the flu have spiked dramatically in our province, and doctors are sounding the alarm. They say cases of other respiratory illness are rising too, and changes are needed to support rather than strain Alberta's healthcare system. Here's Alicia Fielberg.
Influenza is surging in Alberta, cases doubling within a week.
It's overwhelming, actually. We're kind of starting with a system that was really overcrowded. A lot of our hospitals at 100% capacity or more, and now we're just seeing increasing numbers of really sick Albertans.
Hospitalizations are up too, with 802 people in hospital and 54 of them in intensive care because of the flu. So far this season, 21 people have died from influenza, including 3 people in their 40s and 1 in their 30s. Alberta doctors say the flu season started early, and based on data from the Southern Hemisphere, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
This is 100% on our government. They knew this was coming, and instead of looking at the data and the evidence, they went with dogma and ideology and undermined our whole entire public health.
Alberta's fall vaccination campaign started with no access to several vaccines, no public messaging from a chief medical officer of health, and new costs and limitations for COVID shots.
We need strong provincial leadership on immunization campaigns, and I think we've been a little on the weak side that way.
Alberta Medical Association urges the province to change its policy on COVID shots, asking the government to provide the vaccination without additional fees for anyone under 18, not just those with certain conditions.
Putting in a fee makes it difficult, and the process that they've set up for COVID vaccinations has made it much more difficult.
Health professionals urge when vaccines are not free and accessible, participation drops, and it strains our hospitals. Less than 2% of Alberta kids under 11 have COVID coverage right now, and just over 10% got a flu shot. The province says the way flu shots are being provided is substantially the same as last year, adding things could be more than explained by the widely reported mismatch to the circulating flu strains.
And Alicia joins us from the Alberta Children's Hospital tonight. Alicia, a lot of families are struggling with flu right now.
104 children have been in Alberta hospitals with the flu this season, and many more of them sick at home. H3N2 is the most dominant strain this season, and it comes with more severe symptoms and tends to last longer. The doctors are still recommending that people get vaccinated. The one that I spoke with today doesn't expect the peak of this flu season to be until the end of January or beginning of February. Tara?
Okay, Alicia, thank you. The federal and Alberta governments have agreed to a one-year extension of their early learning and childcare deal, keeping fees at about $15 a day. But for many families and daycare operators, the short timeline is raising questions about what happens next. Mark Villani reports.
Jenna Davies is a proud working Calgary parent, the mother of a 3-year-old daughter and a 9-month-old son. But uncertainty was looming over whether she could afford daycare for both of them.
We've sort of been waiting on pins and needles. If the agreement wasn't going to be extended, my fees would have quadrupled for each of my children.
On Friday, Ottawa and Alberta agreed to keep those fees at $15 per day per child, extending its early learning childcare deal by 1 year up until March of 2027. The feds are transferring more than $1.1 billion to Alberta in an effort to maintain affordability grants.
Obviously, it's savings for parents, but it's also really good for kids. And we know that quality childcare actually helps kids accelerate their learning.
And while this family is grateful, the lack of a longer-term deal still adds to future uncertainties.
I think 1 year falls a bit flat because now we're in limbo again, still waiting if they're going to extend it.
We would like to get something that's a bit more long-term. 5 years was what we were hoping for.
Vidya Venkat-Raman is the operator of Calgary Downtown Daycare. Her newly opened facility was 75% constructed back in May when the province said its federal funding for new for-profit centers hit its cap. It meant the only way she could access the $15 per day fee for her clients was to become a nonprofit.
Licensing is too late in the process to be letting operators know how much is available or if they are going to get it, right? My ask of the provincial government is, how are you changing the process?
We're continuing to look at the licensing process to make sure that that type of situation doesn't repeat.
Childcare Minister Dimitrios Nikolaides says 5,000 new for-profit spaces will also be eligible for affordability grants as part of this deal. It's just not known how they'll be allocated.
We'll take your stories forward and continue to work collaboratively together with the federal government to ensure a long-term deal.
A deal that's more important than ever to Alberta families that need it most.
Well, it's good news for now. We're stuck waiting again.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
51,000 new Canada-wide early learning and childcare spaces have been announced in Alberta since 2021. Ottawa says it hopes to reach its goal of nearly 69,000 spaces by March 2027.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
WestJet is pausing plans to install non-reclining seats on more of its fleet, at least for now, following pushback from passengers and employees. The Calgary-based airline announced in September it would reconfigure the seating on 43 Boeing 737 jets. The new design divides the cabin into different tiers, so some seats have more space for a higher price, while some economy seats have less legroom and no tilt-back option. After company executives tested out the cheap seats on a flight from Toronto to Calgary, the plan was paused. 21 flights already have that new design. The company says it's gathering more feedback from guests. Schools have closed and evacuation orders have expanded for parts of BC's lower mainland impacted by flooding. Parts of Abbotsford and Chilliwack are underwater tonight, and fear is growing in the poultry and dairy industries. We've got the latest. And as another Conservative floor crosser is welcomed by the Liberals, we'll see what some in Michael Maugh's riding say about his surprise move. In BC's Fraser Valley, flooding has forced more evacuation orders and school closures. Water pouring in from Washington state is inundating poultry barns and forcing farmers to move their livestock to higher ground. People are preparing for even more high water as another atmospheric river is forecast for Sunday.
As difficult as the last few days have been, there is more rain in the forecast. Now Now is the time for people in flood areas. If you have not done so already, pack a grab-and-go bag. Make it ready. Have the essentials that you need if you're asked to evacuate suddenly. We could have a challenging weekend ahead of us, but with collaboration and teamwork, we will get through this together.
Mayor of Abbotsford took aim at the federal government today, saying Ottawa was too slow to implement a flood mitigation plan that the city developed after floods there 4 years ago. The Alberta Teachers Association is filing a complaint with Alberta's Labour Relations Board over the province's handling of the teachers' strike.
What was told at the bargaining table and then what was commented afterwards seem to be two different things, and we need clarity on that.
The ATA says during the strike, the government made misleading claims about what was eventually promised to address classroom sizes and complexities. It also claims the government made statements attempting to drive a wedge between teachers and the association. A labour relations expert says it's an effort to keep teachers top of mind for Albertans and on the provinces too, ahead of budget talks.
If constituents continue to call their MLAs and say, what are you doing about the education budget, then I think that could have a tangible impact on what they end up doing in the budget.
Foster says there is a small chance the board could recommend both parties return to the bargaining table. The ATA has also filed 61 grievances, one for every bargaining unit in the province. Two advocacy groups say they're changing tactics to keep a challenge alive against an Alberta law affecting transgender people. EGAL and Skipping Stone have been targeting the provincial law banning doctors from prescribing puberty blockers and hormone therapy to those under the age of 16. The groups say it's unlikely the law can be struck down on charter grounds now that the notwithstanding clause has been invoked. Instead, they want to change their argument to a criminal law issue because doctors who do not comply could face fines or even imprisonment. A judge will need to decide if the change can be made at this point. Elections Alberta is getting an extra $6.7 million to deal with the growing number of recall applications. So far, recall petitions have been approved for 21 MLAs, including the Premier. Alberta's chief electoral officer says verifying each petition costs over $300,000. Today, a legislature committee unanimously agreed to grant the extra money. Reaction continues to pour in after Conservative MP Michael Mah crossed the floor to join the Liberal Party. It is now just one seat shy of a majority government. It's a blow to the opposition and to leader Pierre Poilievre ahead of next month's leadership review. Here's Judy Trin.
To our newest member of the Liberal Party, Michael Mah.
Plans for Michael Mah's defection were completed just a few hours before the Prime Minister announced it. Sources say the stealthy move was initiated by Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson, who represents a neighbouring riding.
Wow, such a big welcome. Thank you.
Few saw it coming. Mah was dancing at the Conservative Christmas party a day earlier. He even posed with Pierre Poilievre for photos. On X, his secret Santa, Conservative MP Kurt Holman, says he gave Mah an Amazon Fire Stick and wants it back. Poilievre says Mah is letting down the people who elected him to fight for an affordable future and will have to answer to them. Mah was elected this past April in Markham Unionville. In the riding, nearly 60% of residents are from China or South Asia. Regional Councillor Joe Lee campaigned for Mah. He says many constituents support Carney's recent moves to improve relations with China and India.
By and large, they think the Prime Minister make a good move.
This follows Chris D'Entremont's floor crossing in November. The Carney government is now at 171 seats, just one away from a majority, and are open to courting others.
They realize, like we do, that we're in a trade war and that serious solutions are required. And they are required every day to go through this charade of obstruction. That is a soul-destroying experience for many Conservative members of Parliament.
In the new year, there could be as many as 4 by-elections, and they're not all safe Liberal seats. As for Pierre Poilievre, he'll have to answer questions about the defections when his leadership comes up for review in January. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's get back to this chilly forecast. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and you know what this is? Force us to be cozy at home if you can, because I will say this, it's going to let up. We'll get warmer temperatures, and we're in for about a 4-day stretch of some warmth before things go downhill again. So, you know, if you've been wearing the layers and the big thick coat, keep that on hand right up until about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, we haven't had excessive gusts, as you can see here. This graphic only shows when there's been gusty conditions. So 33 in Calgary, 35 in Red Deer. Not excessive, but the wind has been strong enough, 15, 20 kilometers per hour, to produce that wind chill. And that's why in Red Deer it feels like minus 26 with the wind chill. In Calgary, minus 27, and minus 24 Pincher Creek through Lethbridge. Minus 28 is what it feels like in Drumheller with that lovely wind chill. We're not done with the snow just yet for most communities. You can see the snowfall down the QE2 into Calgary, and then down the Trans-Canada towards Medicine Hat. The bullseye area, as we talked about, has been south of Medicine Hat, and that continues to be the bullseye area even as we go through these next 12 hours before this is all said and done. So I'll show you snowfall totals and what we can expect, further totals anyway from this. But first, the timeline. We will have this snowfall basically in the same place it's in up until about 9:30 tonight. Then it will start to slump to the south, but it will likely still remain in Calgary until about the midnight hour. Then early tomorrow morning it slumps down to the far south, as you can see here, but it should even be out of the far south by about 5, 6 in the morning. And then we're done with the snowfall for a bit, because then we're clear, mainly clear, just maybe a bit of a Chinook arch building in for the weekend. One little key thing, and this is a small chance of this, but there is the chance of freezing rain later in the morning tomorrow along Highway 2 down to Lethbridge. So slick road conditions, snow, and then underneath that and on top of that, some icy patches possible. Outside of that, though, we're looking at calmer conditions. There is still a snowfall warning lingering in the far southeast corner because we're not done with this system just yet. Still the snowfall warning for Highway 93 as well. All right, when we're looking at totals that we can add, so this is really from now up until about Saturday, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Another 7 centimeters in Milk River, just off to the east of Milk River. 7 to 10 centimeters certainly possible. Another 5 centimeters for Medicine Hat. And in Calgary, anywhere from 2 to 5 centimeters is certainly possible. Looking at that longer range forecast, your Action Furnace 5-day forecast, -2 is the high tomorrow, but keep in mind in the morning, the wind chill will still be in the -20s, -22, but then check out Sunday, 7, Monday, 9. All right, here's a summary of our Toy Mountain campaign so far. This morning, our wonderful sponsor, Lux Windows and Doors, presented a check for $5,000. Our toy count sits just over 5,100 toys, and the total value of cash and toys is at $561,763,000. Your donation of new unwrapped toys and essentials go to clients of Fear Is Not Love year-round. And cash donations help support so many programs in our community, including Indigenous initiatives that foster cultural safety.
It really makes a big difference, because I may use a certain word that a client may not understand, but when our facilitator speaks in the Stoney language and explains that word, you can see the understanding and that process of awareness coming to the client, which is wonderful.
You can bring your donations to one of nearly 30 drop-off locations across the city, or make a cash donation online at ctvcalgary.ca.
A pair of hikers on Vancouver Island had to make a quick U-turn when they got caught on a suspension bridge with a large black bear.
Which way are we supposed to go? Hi. Hey, how you doing?
This happened Sunday when the hikers passed a suspension bridge in the Campbell River area, and a bear was looking to make a crossing. At first, they thought it was a dog from a distance, and then they realized they needed to remain calm. They backed away slowly, and the animal took off. New photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate have been released. They show many high-profile figures in Epstein's orbit, including U.S. President Donald Trump. Plus, King Charles provides the public with an update on his cancer diagnosis and treatment. In Washington, new images from the estate of the late Jeffrey Epstein have been released. They show the convicted sex offender with several powerful men, including U.S. President Donald Trump and former President Bill Clinton. The photos were put out by House Democrats. CTV's John Vinavali-Rao has more.
19 pictures were selected and released by Democratic lawmakers. Images showing Epstein with entrepreneur Richard Branson and film director Woody Allen. A shot of Microsoft founder Bill Gates and one of U.S. President Donald Trump, along with 6 women whose faces were redacted.
These photos were in the possession of the Epstein estate, and so that includes pictures that maybe were sent to Epstein, perhaps he took himself.
There's a photo of Epstein and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell standing with former President Bill Clinton, Epstein posing with former Trump advisor Steve Bannon, and images of sex toys. The Democrats say the House Oversight Committee received 95,000 images from the Epstein estate, and they're going through them.
I think anything that we release is significant. I think people should be able to make judgments on their own as to what they see in these photos. For us, this is about transparency.
All of the men in the photos have long denied any wrongdoing, and some of the images were already public. None of them show underage girls or indicate any criminality. When or where they were taken is not disclosed, but they do raise more questions about Epstein's connection to the rich and powerful. Here, Epstein is seen with Trump. Another photo shows a bowl of novelty condoms with a caricature of Trump's face. Trump was at one time a friend of Epstein, but has denied knowing about his abuse of girls and women. The photos are separate from the Epstein files that the U.S. Department of Justice has been ordered to release by December 19th. Meanwhile, Republicans are accusing Democrats of cherry-picking the images to embarrass President Trump. John Vanavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
In the UK, King Charles spoke today about his experience with cancer during a televised message. And the monarch urged people to get screened, saying early diagnosis saves lives.
I know from my own experience that a cancer diagnosis can feel overwhelming. Yet, I also know that early detection is the key that can transform treatment journeys, giving invaluable time to medical teams and to their patients the precious gift of hope. These are gifts we can all help deliver.
The monarch's message was in support of Stand Up to Cancer and part of a campaign to promote screening. He revealed that his early diagnosis and treatment will allow doctors to reduce his treatment in the new year. Well, it's one thing to look at art. It is quite another to step inside it. But you can at a cool new art display opening soon in Calgary. And we have a sneak peek next. Holiday market celebrating Indigenous artists and performers kicked off tonight. Christmas at the Nation runs at the Tsuut'ina Nation until Sunday. There are more than 220 Indigenous artists and vendors set up at the Seven Chiefs Sportsplex and Chief Jim Starlight Centre. The market also includes drumming, dancing and storytelling with Nation elders. And there are some special guests, including Juno nominee Armin Duck Chief and Santa himself. Muralists from a number of countries are in Calgary working on an immersive exhibit called Snapshot. They're painting 13 murals where you have the opportunity to be part of the scene. It's a technique called anamorphic projection, and it dates back hundreds of years. Kevin Fleming has more.
She's from Ukraine, but now lives in New York, and Victoria Parr says it brings her joy to see people engage in her artwork.
I really wanted to make something connected with water, and since the ocean is really cold here, I wanted to bring that coldness in like really turquoisey, blue, greenish colors.
Her image is filled with orcas and will feature a surfboard that visitors can stand on and become part of the mural. This space sat empty for the better part of a year. The people at Power Play brought in Tracy Stump to work her magic and bring in artists to create an immersive exhibit, much like she made in New Jersey in Puerto Vallarta called Tilt.
It's called anamorphic projection. It's an old technique that was perfected in the Baroque era in Europe, and it's been passed down through a lineage of European artists over the many centuries, and now a lot of people here in North America practice this art form.
And this also is its first in kind in Calgary, and it's first in kind in Canada. So it's an immersive art museum that you could do as you wish with it. It's intended to be technology free because the rest of our space is so heavy technology.
Julio Jimenez is from Los Angeles and is painting a giant musical gorilla. He also painted this piece that is inspired from Drumheller's prehistoric past.
When people come and interact, it completes the piece.
you know, it really completes, like, people are really an integral part of the art as well.
The intention of the piece is to create a wonderful backdrop, let's say, for someone to come in and experience it in their own unique way. So we create the scene, you complete the painting.
Snapshot is expected to be complete in January of 2026. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
And Snapshot is similar to two permanent exhibits in New Jersey and Puerto Vallarta called Tilt. We've posted more information about the immersive experience on our website. Boy, they are so talented. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, well, an Australian man got quite a shock from watching his pet cam. He saw his dog had let in some of the farm animals right into the living room of his house. Now, it probably wasn't intentional. The video shows his dog Thunder opening the sliding patio door, and then Sue, the steer, wanders in, and then Cricket, the horse, also comes in. Yeah, the party animals trashed the house. The horse is suspected of drinking most of the water in the fishbowl. The owner was out for dinner at the time, but he says all the animals did make it outside safely.
There would be a big cleanup after that.
Yeah,
Sure.
some animal poop cleanup.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I guess you got to lock the door. Well, now to an unexpected surprise while doing laundry.
Here's the bag. I have to be the only person in the world that this has happened to. This is where we're at so far.
Oh, mamma mia. This woman realized she washed a bag of pasta with her laundry after coming home from Italy. So she bought some special pasta. They packed it in with their dirty clothes for safekeeping, and then she threw everything in the laundry. So the good news is it was cooked al dente. The bad news is she might need a new washing machine.
Yeah.
What a mess.
And I don't think they'll be eating that spaghetti.
No.
I mean,
what a disappointment.
I love that she did this in it.
Yeah. Well, finally, a fun game for your family and friends this holiday season. It's pretty simple, though it is harder than it looks. The goal is you spin around for 30 seconds, and then you're supposed to stand on your piece of paper, but nobody is able to.
Yeah, we do that every Friday night. Nothing new.
The trick is to do what they did, which is move all the furniture out of the room. Otherwise,
that is true.
You don't want to fall on the coffee table. You
And
need
maybe
to clear the room.
wear a helmet.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Put your bike helmet on. Well, time is running out to make a claim in a bread price fixing settlement. What you need to know before the deadline is coming up next.
Skywatch weather camera, we have snow in parts of the city right now, and the snow will be on and off up until about midnight in the city. And then we're done with the snow for a couple of days. All right, -8 is that current temperature, and also our daytime high. -1 is what's normal. As you know, we are well below normal for this time of year. When you factor in wind chill well into those -20s, it feels like -27 in Calgary and Medicine Hat right now. -28 is what it feels like in Drumheller. So it's absolutely frigid, and it will continue to be frigid right through tomorrow morning. And then you'll notice a big difference and a big warm up. Snowfall continuing. Red Deer down QE2, Calgary over down the Trans-Canada towards Medicine Hat, and especially the Bullseye area south of Medicine Hat and Tabor, where it continues to be and will continue to be for the next 8 hours or so. All right, for the evening, overnight, and through tomorrow morning, wind chills will still be in the -20s. So brace for that. But by tomorrow afternoon, -2 will be the base temperature. It will feel more like -6, which will feel downright balmy. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. And let's look at these warmer afternoon temperatures everywhere. 5 for Salmon Arms, 7 for Kelowna tomorrow. Central and northern Alberta will be dealing with some snowfall. -11 will be the high in Edmonton, but further south, much warmer. -2 for Calgary. Still cold in Drumheller at -12. -1 for Lethbridge, and -11 for Medicine Hat.
Firefighters are dealing with some dangerous situations in this cold snap. 2 people sleeping in a tent at a homeless camp were burned this morning. The cause is believed to be a heater in the tent. A bus carrying a junior hockey team crashed into some trees in northern Alberta today. 2 players from the Athabasca Rivermen were taken to hospital, and several others received minor injuries. More than 100 Alberta children have been hospitalized with the flu so far this season, and the Alberta Medical Association is calling for free COVID-19 vaccines for kids. It is the final day to make a claim, get a slice of that Loblaw bread price-fixing settlement. Anyone who purchased packaged bread in 2021 can make a claim with no proof of purchase required. The lawsuit alleged Loblaw engaged in an industry-wide scheme to fix bread prices. The $500 million settlement was approved in May. It'll be more than 3 years before Canada starts to build a high-speed rail line. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has the details.
Shovels will be in the ground in 2029. The first track will run between Ottawa and Montreal. But eventually, the high-speed line will run 1,000 kilometers from Toronto to Quebec City. Ottawa announced the new Alto line last winter, saying it will cut travel time in half, with trains moving at 300 kilometers an hour. The cost of the rail project pegged between $60 and $90 billion. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.63. West Texas Intermediate crude down to 57.24. Western Canadian Select down to 44.06. And the TSX dropped 133 points, ending the day at 31,527. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Alberta's government is giving young people the opportunity to use the Canada Strong Pass at provincial museums and heritage sites over the next month. Children will get free admission, and young adults from 18 to 24 will get half-price admission to 8 sites, including the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Drumheller. The special pricing is in effect starting today and goes until January 15th. The Canada Strong Pass already grants free admission to national parks and historic sites over the same time period. The province says a family of 4 with children under 17 can save $20 on each visit to a museum or an historic site. A big Parabathlon event is going on in Canmore right now. Glenn has the story of one competitor who is back after having to take a year off. Some terrifying video from high above Australia shows the moment a skydiver's parachute gets caught on the tail wing of a plane, leaving him helplessly dangling 15,000 feet in the air. So his handle snagged on the wing flap, and that deployed his reserve chute, which then got stuck. So when he was stuck, he was then frantically trying to cut himself loose. He was able to deploy his main chute, and he did make it safely to the ground. The aircraft had a little bit of damage, but the pilot was able to stabilize it and also land safely. Whew. The Calgary Flames hit the road for a pair of games. Glenn is back with us. It's the father's trip for the Flames.
Tara, the 2-game trip takes them to Los Angeles to play the Kings tomorrow night, and then they'll face the Sharks in San Jose on Tuesday night. Flames coming off a fairly successful homestand where they won 3 of 4 games. But the Flames have had a tough time moving up in the standings. They're still tied for second last in the league. As for this trip, it's always a special one. Both the players and the dads really look forward to it, and they have had some success with the dads around.
I did last time. Yeah, we had a great trip. I think ran the table, so hopefully they can keep tradition going here. And like I said, I think it just kind of injects a little bit of energy and keeps the room light, and you know, things you can always use this time of year.
I also like it because when it comes game time, they always want to be at their best because you know they want to play well in front of dad. So these are enjoyable trips, not just for the players, but for our entire staff as well.
You know, I feel like we've been better as of late, and you know, if you take away October, we've been pretty good, and definitely liked our efforts lately. And as I said, it's a good feeling in the group, and you know, excited to head on the road with the dads.
Flames and the Kings. Game gets underway 8 o'clock tomorrow night in Los Angeles. Well, the Edmonton Oilers have finally addressed their goaltending situation. But did they get it right? The Oilers have traded Stuart Skinner, Brett Kulak, and a second-round pick in 2029 to the Pittsburgh Penguins for goaltender Tristan Jarry and former first-round pick Sam Poulin. Did the Oilers get any better in goal? Well, that's still up for debate. Both goaltenders have struggled. Skinner, he's only got a .891 save percentage, and he's a free agent after this season. Jarry, he was placed on waivers last season. In a separate move, the Oilers sent a 2027 third-round pick to the Nashville Predators for defenseman Spencer Stastny, and another big trade just broke. The Vancouver Canucks have traded defenseman Quinn Hughes to the Minnesota Wild for defenseman Zeev Byam, forwards Marco Rossi and Liam Ogren, and a first-round pick in 2026. The 2025 Parabathlon World Cup is going on in Canmore right now. Competition wraps up on Sunday. And this is a big comeback year for one of the competitors. Colin Cameron was born with arthrogryposis, a condition that causes a shortening of the lower limbs and an underdevelopment of muscles and tendons in the legs. But that never stopped the 37-year-old from being active. He played para-ice hockey and then found his true passion in para-Nordic skiing.
It's just kind of like a way of life for me. You know, I never really had this opportunity growing up, and having para-sport, now I have it, and I kind of make it my own, and I'm a part of this really exceptional community that's always been welcoming, and it's kind of feel like where I'm supposed to be.
Cameron is competing in the Parabiathlon World Cup in Canmore this week, and he got things off to a great start, winning the gold medal in the para-sit-ski sprint.
Yeah, I'm pleased for sure. Not a whole lot of biathlon training this year, so it's nice to know that I can just kind of come and show up, and I don't forget how to shoot and race and put it all together. And I just didn't overthink it.
It's been a tough couple of years injury-wise for Cameron. He missed the entire season last year because of a bad shoulder. This was his first Biathlon World Cup since returning. That made the win even more satisfying.
I was doing things right, prioritizing health, taking care of my body when I needed to, even though that meant taking a whole season off last year. But it's nice to have some justification for that really hard decision last year.
Cameron won 3 bronze medals at the 2018 Paralympic Winter Games in Pyeongchang, then added 3 more bronze at the 22 Paralympic Winter Games in Beijing. He'd love to go back for the 2026 Games in Milan Cortina.
Oh, I know there's still lots for me to build on, and everybody else too in the field. So it's nice to just kind of, get the first one done and have a feel where everything is. And there's still a lot of very exceptional biathletes that aren't here. So we'll see where I stack up in next World Cup and leading into March.
Cameron gives a lot of credit to his partner and fellow Canadian Paralympian Christina Picton for the success he's having in Canmore.
Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a final peek at the weather, Danielle, because 24 hours from now, it's not going to be nearly this cold.
No, tomorrow afternoon, it's going to feel like you're in Florida.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, you might be overestimating.
Yeah, over-exaggerating a bit.
Okay, a bit of an exaggeration. -2 it'll still be below freezing. And it went to the -6, but that's a huge improvement from the -29, -28 we've been having. So here we go. A warm-up is really getting started here. This is a 4-day warm-up before we go downhill again. 7 degrees for Sunday, 9 for Monday, 3 for Tuesday, and then cold for Wednesday at -7 with snow. Thursday of next week, we'll be back into the -teens, so enjoy the warmth while we have it. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. Libby Goodless sent this in. Beautiful picture, but not many people sitting in those chairs right now.
No, it's a bit cold. Well, we're going to leave you tonight with another look outside of the Anderson train station. A lot of people have gathered there tonight. They're waiting for the CPKC holiday train. This is a food bank fundraiser. It should be pulling in any minute now. Bare Naked Ladies are on board. Once it gets there, they're going to play for about 30 minutes. A cool but fun night. Have a great weekend.